And today, the Harley Benton Stomp Control ISO 4, which is already on this beautiful board, but first I had to unbox it, and you're gonna see that now. As some of you know, I've reviewed tons of switchers and clicky things that control pedals. That's actually in my early days of the channel. I did a lot of that for some Chinese brands, including the Joyo PXL line, which is actually the Harley Benton FXL line. Super solid switchers. This seems to be from a different brand that Harley Benton is getting these from. This is rebranded. So I don't know what brand that actually is. I'm gonna look at the price, which I could have done before I started the video, but I didn't. So it's 88 bucks. Now, what is 88 bucks? It's a thing that switches 4 pedals. It rememberizes, that's a word, the combination of the pedals, but even more so, here's the kicker, it has a built-in power supply. And I usually dismiss that. I will usually go like, that can't be any good. Come the fuck on, this is crap. It's 88 bucks. A good power supply will cost you 250 bucks, and it doesn't make a sound. It's just a good power supply that powers pedals. Now, at 88 bucks, how good can this really be? It actually has 5 outputs for power, because it has a tuner out, and they were smart enough to give it a 5th output for a tuner. So, well, before we go into it, let's build the board. You can see that. So, yeah, you need this, the pedals, couple cables, but no power supply. It comes, of course, with the power supply, which is 12 volt at 2 amps. And on the first output, which is the tuner, it just goes out. It's actually Dolphin safe tuner. Goes into, way over your heads, I know. Goes into the tuner, and that output is 100 milliamps, which should be fine for almost every tuner on the market. Then, next one, loop number 1, is 100 milliamps. Then we have 300 milliamps, which is already enough for almost most of the digital pedals. We have another 300 milliamps, and over here on the last one, very clever, because usually that's a big reverb or reverb delay combination like I have here, the collider. They have 500 milliamps, which really should be able to power almost everything you can throw at it. Now, I deliberately went with 2 digital pedals in the last 2 loops because I know that bad, not well isolated power supplies don't like 2 digital pedals in the same chain. You're gonna have a kind of a sound. So that was my test. So you're hooking up the little Harley Benton power supply to this in the red input. It's very clear. Well, and then bam, it works. It's powering all 5 pedals and super easy to switch. Now let me show you how you program this. You pretty much pick whatever one A, B, C, D program you want. You hit edit. Then you use ABCD to turn on and off the loops that you want on and off. And then you hit store and you're done. By hitting bank, you go higher, but it doesn't automatically switch your program. You then have to select one of the ABCDs. And then you're on that program. If you want to change it, hit edit, select your loops, hit store, you're done. If you want it muted, you hit mute. Now the one thing is getting back to a sound, which means you have to hit mute again, but then it's on bypass. And then you still have to select A, B, C, D. So once you're in mute, it requires 2 or maybe even 3 stomps to get out of mute. Okay, fine. It is very lightweight. Have I mentioned it's $88 right now, and it has a built-in power supply, which technically by itself, with that many milliamps and being isolated, should be at least $88. It's kind of like they're throwing in the switcher for free. Yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, I'm getting paid for this video, but for the money, that's ridiculous. Now, let's check out what it sounds like with a couple of presets and then changing presets. Here's some clips. Well, there you go. It works. I like the visuals. The loops are green. The programs are blue. In the back, I didn't even see this. There's also lights, probably for when it has power. I didn't even see the lights in the back. It does the job. Now I've got two things I would like to complain about, but they're ultra minor things. A, the switches are relatively close together. Now, if you're Gearman dude or anyone with really pointy cowboy boots, you're good, okay? Or one of those guys from the Arabian Nights, you know, with the very pointy. So you have to have pointy shoes, or be careful, or tippy toe. They are close together, okay? There's 6 of them in a tight space. The other thing, having a pedal switcher for 4 pedals is still convenient, but kind of not that necessary. If I have 4 pedals, I can go click, 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 and quickly switch them. However, it makes more sense if this was 6 or 8. But then, of course, it's more expensive. That's my point. However, at $88, even with 4 pedals, it's completely a non-starter to say, well, do I really need this? It's $88, okay? Not a single pedal on here is even that cheap. The tuner is way more than that. So, given that it's got the power supply built in, there's no reason not to get this when you have 4 or 5 pedals like this on the board, because you're gonna need power anyway. You're gonna need to put something on it. Why not just put something on it that actually remembers the order, not the order, but remembers what pedals were on? So it feels like the switcher is kind of given free or something. So yeah, I want to bitch about that. It's only 4. Realistically, at that price point, why not get it? Yeah. So if I had for this board, I would still get a 4 pedal switcher, even though I usually say, well, 4, I'd rather just not have a switcher on the board. But given that it's got power, makes total sense. Killer product, I like that it's brushed aluminum and not just black. The FXL series was metal, like steel, way heavier. This is rather light, comes with a power supply, everything. It's just, yeah, my point is, get it. $88, why the crap not get it? It sounds good, there's no hum, there's no feep. I tested the way that I usually test. I tested it with the Harley Benton Thunder 99 power amp. That's a separate video. Watch it, you can hear this board into the Thunder 99. Highly recommended if you're looking for a small pedal switcher with built-in power supply. Thanks to Michiel for switching. There's something about animals that I always say. What is it, Michiel?
No idea.
No idea? Something about animals.
Animales al final?
Animales al final.